At this point, I think Patty Jenkins and Alan Heinberg should be involved in every DCEU production from now on. The DC Extended Universe is notorious for its consistent cinematic disappointments. However, months back, the world had a reason to rejoice as Wonder Woman hit a critical and commercial grand slam home run out of Fenway Park and actually managed to make my top 10 list of 2017. News of Zack Snyder's initial cut of the Justice League being deemed unwatchable didn't have any adverse effect on me. I dismissed it as unsubstantiated hearsay given that early word supposedly released by an insider about Wonder Woman being an incoherent mess turned out to be untrue. I was hoping that this would also be the case for the Justice League, but alas, it's a colossal failure. So Justice League takes place following the events of Batman vs. Superman. Enthused by Superman's act of selflessness, Batman and Wonder Woman assemble a team of superheroes comprised of Cyborg, The Flash, and Aquaman. The monumental threat they face is the evil Steppenwolf and his army of parademons as they rummage for 3 artifacts called Mother Boxes. When fused together, these boxes will terraform Earth into the nightmarish hellhole of Steppenwolf's apocalyptic homeworld, in which he will then proceed to subjugate the planet. The novelty of seeing the venerable, heroic luminaries of the iconic Justice League consolidating and working in tandem to vanquish the nefarious forces of evil is the film's selling point. But how does Justice League expect to accomplish such a hefty feat when its screenplay handles its characters like a bunch of expendable robots made from rusty scrap metal? The film does such a slapdash job at introducing the ensemble and then rushes through their backgrounds. The script is almost entirely unconcerned with cultivating those characters and their relationships, opting instead to attempt audience gratification with superpowers rather than give them reasons to cheer on the heroes besides the fact that they're the good guys here. To me, Justice League also appeared intent on setting up Cyborg, Aquaman, and The Flash for their own solo future installments, which in turn resulted in skeletons with no meat on the bones. Therefore, the infrequent moments of character development and discord between members of the ensemble were low on the believability scale and felt more like stilted plot dictations rather than genuine contemplations of multifaceted individuals. Adding further insult to injury, Steppenwolf can go right ahead and join the nethermost nadir of overwhelmingly weak comic book supervillains because he is just unspeakably awful. Even thinner than Malekith of Thor: The Dark World, this achingly bland and dull CG baddie is nothing but a punching bag for our heroic posse. Justice League doesn't even half-heartedly attempt to delve into his motivations for world domination or give us any sort of insight into what's in it for him. Seeing as how the valiant stars of the show are barely given their chance to shine, it isn't all that surprising that the villain would be left on the cutting room floor. Justice League is a tonally inconsistent film. According to Taylor Williams of CBR, there were concerns about the DCEU being too somber in nature. To lighten up the tone, Chris Terrio was hired to rewrite the original Justice League script. After Zack Snyder left during production following his daughter's death, Joss Whedon stepped in to finish the project and oversaw some extensive reshoots with his comedic touch evidently on display. The notion that a film can be enhanced by simply changing its genre is quite ludicrous, especially in the case of Justice League where deficiencies in basic storytelling, regardless of genre, are rampant. But I digress. The film's issue in the tonal department for me is that it can't seem to find an appropriate balance of gravitas and levity. It feels more like a Zack Snyder film and a Joss Whedon film Duke and Get Out because the shifts between Zack Snyder's dark style and Joss Whedon's comedic elements are jarring, thus further cementing the film's overall disjointed composition. However, it wouldn't be fair to only shoot my criticisms at Whedon, Snyder, and Terrio, because the CEO of Warner Brothers Entertainment is in dire need of a sci-fi type of brain cleanse. What in God's name was going on within the enclosures of Kevin Tsujihara's gray matter when he decided to mandate Justice League to run just under 2 hours? Let me guess, box office revenue. A shorter runtime means a greater amount of showtimes per cinema. Given the global popularity of the Justice League, this would mean more butts into auditorium seats, which would mean more cash in the bank. Am I in the ballpark yet? Justice League's deflated length is simply an insufficient amount of time to nail multiple origin stories and redemption arcs while simultaneously trying to pump enough adrenaline with action. The end result is a choppy, muddled, and unfinished mess of a product. It's not rocket science. All in all, Justice League is another embarrassing misfire for the DCEU. All the more disheartening given my renewed hopes of the franchise following the impressive Wonder Woman. The frustration lies in the apparent lack of passion for the DC universe. Instead of tackling the fatal narrative shortcomings that have plagued the majority of DCEU entries, the producers thought it would be a good idea to add levity and condense the runtime, thus pouring a barrel of lemon juice into the wound. Justice League flounders as cinema, underwhelms as popcorn entertainment, and I implore you to not waste your precious money or your time. So I'm gonna give Justice League a 3. So these are my thoughts on Justice League. What did you think of the film? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like what I do, give me a like, hit that big subscribe button, stay tuned, and I will see you on the next one.